And now it's time for Church Chat.
Welcome, everybody. It's nice. Welcome, everybody. It's always nice to come into a round of applause, even if it's a little canned there in our opening. Here we are for another edition of our Church Chat. Shane and Lori, it's great to see you. Always a joy to be with you in this virtual space. I'd rather that we were in person. I'm beginning to feel that pretty acutely this week, particularly as the weather gets a little bit nicer and everybody's just ready to go running out of doors, I think, at a safe social distance. Some of you may have seen this week that a number of churches across the province have been petitioning the government of Ontario to reopen. I can certainly identify with where those churches are coming from in terms of the deep desire that I think all of us are feeling to get back to our normal routine. I wanted to let you know that our diocese, our parish, and indeed the ecclesiastical province of Ontario have not joined in any of those petitions to the government. At this point in time, we feel that it's important that we maintain social distance. It's important that we follow the best advice that we're getting from medical officers of health and other public health officials. We're telling us at this point in time that it's not safe to return to normal patterns of worship. As one of my wise colleagues put it to me, sometimes the best way to take care of your neighbors is by staying away. And sad as it is and difficult as it is, we do feel that we're still in that space. I can assure you, though, that conversations are well underway about what a return to some kind of corporate worship in person, will look like. Those conversations are ongoing and unfolding as new information becomes available. And I can assure you also that you'll be among the first to know when it does come time to reopen in whatever way we're able to. And it will likely be a phased re-entry of some kind. Now, I know also that this crisis has reshaped our ministry. The very fact that you're tuned in today watching our church chat, this was not something that happened in the before time. But it's been a great source of joy and I think life for our parish. And it's something that I would like to continue. I think that the way that God is working redemption, or at least one of the ways in the midst of this time of crisis, is by showing us some of those new things that God is doing that we can partner with God in our ministry. And I'm committed to, amongst other things, offering some form of online worship going forward. Not just because some folks are going to feel uncomfortable coming back to church once we're told that we can reopen, but also because I think it's a powerful way of reaching more broadly with the good news of God in Jesus Christ, reaching our community, reaching on a global platform out to the world in our own little way. Much of our ministry at St. John's, I think, is going to look different while we continue to do those things that are areas of strength and joy for us. And those conversations, too, are ongoing. Shane, you are the chair of our advisory board. An advisory board is a locus for us to consider as a group our ministry, and particularly our ministry going forward. And I wonder if you might want to talk just a little bit about some of those conversations that are happening at this moment.
Yes, advisory board's really becoming a place where we're having some really interesting conversations, more about how we see ourselves as a congregation, what our call to mission is, as opposed to, what the day-to-day operational needs are of the parish. And so advisory board's really a place where we started those conversations last year about how we see ourselves today and how we want to see ourselves into the future. And some of you watching will have been engaged in some conversation with members of advisory board about that. We've been reaching out to some of our small groups to engage in that discussion. That conversation is ongoing, and we've put some words around it, and that's been the focus of some discussion. At our advisory board that's upcoming on May 26th at 7 o'clock, and anybody's welcome to join us. We're meeting on Zoom nowadays, but anybody's welcome to enter that conversation with us. At our upcoming meeting, we're going to be talking about a couple of particular aspects about how we see ourselves, and the two focus areas that we're going to have are, about the idea of being bold and innovative and collaborative, and that's something as we spend more time in this new digital space, we'll need to spend some time thinking about. And also, the other thing that we're going to be focusing on is hospitality. And how do we always offer hospitality at St. John's? And that has a particular feel to it when somebody's coming to the front doors of the church building. But that might have a different approach that's necessary in the online world. So some of the conversations that we started last year, I think, are setting us up to have a good perspective, and a good starting point for the conversations we're going to need to have about how we operate, how we look as we carry out God's mission in the church building eventually, but also in this new space where we find ourselves now.
Absolutely, and it's been wonderful to hear good participation from our congregation, from our wonderful advisory board on all of those conversations. So I thank all of the members for their work, and do encourage anybody who wants to join, as Shane, as you've reminded us, that those are open forums for us to come together. One of the places where we're finding our vocation really strengthened, I think, is in the voice of prayer. And having more time to contemplate all of those needs that are in the world and in our community. And Lori, you've been responsible for leading our morning prayer group, and I know you to be a person of prayer, a prayer warrior, we might even say. And I wonder if you want to talk a little bit about some of the initiatives that we have going on around times of prayer.
Thank you, Jesse. Yes, so several things happening, as Jesse mentioned. Morning prayer through the service offered in the Book of Common Prayer. I lead that on Zoom Tuesday and Friday mornings at 8, small group, really, as Jesse said last week, a friendly group. And the access to that is detailed on our website. We also, though, want to encourage you to bring forth your prayer requests. We don't have a physical piece of paper now for you to write on when you come into the building, but we do have the church office, the voicemail there. Lori Woodruff, when she's in the office, or Father Jesse, will take your prayer requests. You can email the church or Father Jesse as well. You can email any of the lay readers. We are all keeping a digital prayer list in a central location. And so we are offering up prayers on your behalf in our time of personal prayer and in the morning prayer services. And so we do encourage you to bring forward those prayer requests, and do let us know what the time period is that you would like us to be praying for, if there is a defined time. Also, I want to encourage you, for those of you who feel the need of some extra support and wish to pray actually with somebody at one time or another, we have been delighted to have Bill Bickle and Deb Chapman, both of them lay readers with us, have offered themselves to be available for personal prayer. So again, you can call the church office or get in touch with Father Jesse, or if you know their contact information, call those two individuals directly. Either way, we'll get you in touch, and you can conveniently arrange to speak on the phone or through email or through a video conference of some nature, whatever is most convenient, so that you can pray with somebody and have those burdens of prayer shared. If you have a praise or gratitude comment, we've been doing a chain of gratitude with Penny Nutbrown in the Sunday school. She took one more gratitude from me this week, so I know that the option is still available. And of course, if you would like us to pray a prayer of thanks and gratitude on your behalf, please add that to the prayer requests. Our life is found in prayer with our Savior and our God. And so we encourage you to join in on those ways.
Wonderful. The voice of prayer is never silent, irrespective of the circumstances, and I'm so blessed that we're carrying on that ministry. And please do be assured of my prayers for all of you, of my gratitude for all of the people of St. John's and of this community. We're continuing as well with Christian education, talking about some ways in which we might continue Christian education throughout the summer months. So please do watch this space for some announcements coming up in that regard. Bible and Brew, which would normally be meeting on Monday, this Monday evening, is taking the day off for Victoria Day. Happy Victoria Day, everyone. God save the Queen. And we will be reconvening on May 25th for our meeting of Bible and Brew at 6 p.m. And you'll get some details next week about how you can log in to that meeting. It's a friendly group. Come and enjoy good Christian conversation. And if you've made a trip to the LCBO, have a pint with us if you like. I think that's all we have for this week, other than to just say God bless you, and thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again very soon.
Bye.